And now, ladies and gentlemen, from the heart of the Inland Empire, right here in sunny Southern California, it's Robert Cardoza Live, where we talk about politics, money, and you. This is the intersection of business and politics. And now here's your host, Robert Cardoza.
And welcome aboard. I am Robert Cardoza. You're listening to Robert Cardoza Live on the street at the intersection of business and politics. And as usual, we have got a fantastic, energized show for you today. And it's a kind of a special show for today because we're going to do not only what's in the news and new legislation. Boy, there's a lot of that going on today. You can't wait till you get to the news today. We'll be doing our regular segment, the tribute to the late, great Paul Harvey, and the rest of the story. We'll do that just a little later this afternoon. Today's story is Macy's Grudge. You're not going to want to miss it. It's really interesting. And then we'll have our own Sean LaFave. Sean LaFave and I will be talking healthcare with Sarica Cernohous, a natural healthcare practitioner. She'll be calling in from Flagstaff, Arizona. So it'll be kind of nice. We'll be all over the place here today. So we'll see what's happening with that. But right now, I want you to know that at 3:01 p.m. Pacific time, it is currently 68 degrees here in the heart of the Inland Empire in sunny Southern California. It's on its way down to 53 degrees. And a little bit later, we're expecting a big storm. They're saying we're going to get somewhere around 4 inches of rain in the next 24 to 30 hour period. That's a lot of rain, boy. And let's hope they get some relief up in Oroville where the dam is having some problems. But you know what? Why don't we just get to it and get to the news and see what's going on? First off, Trump wraps criminal leaks, dishonest media, and bad judges. This came in just 19 minutes ago. Confronting a cascade of controversies, President Donald Trump today angrily denounced the criminal leaks that took down his top national security advisor after less than a month and revived questions about his own ties to Russia. But he offered only a lawyerly denial that his campaign aides had been in touch with Russian officials before last fall's election. Nobody that I know, he said in the first full-length press conference of his presidency. Rather than a wide-ranging question and answer session, the 77-minute event amounted to an extended airing of grievances, the new president attempting to find his footing after the rockiest launch in recent memory. Trump slammed a bad court of appeals judges for blocking his refugee and immigration executive order and denied that his White House was paralyzed by chaos and infighting among top advisors. This administration is running like a fine-tuned machine, he boasted. With his signature hyperbole, betrayed by reality, Trump said there has never been a president who has had, in this short a period or of time, has done what we've done. He blamed any problems on the outgoing Obama administration. I inherited a mess at home and abroad in the news media. Well, standing in the stately chandeliered East Room, Trump lambasted the out-of-control media along his favorite foe. He appeared to delight in jousting with reporters, repeatedly interrupting their questions and singing out stories that he disagreed with. Well aware his attacks were sure to be cheered by loyal supporters who share his views. Despite Trump's declarations, his first month in office has been chaotic by any measure, a flurry of self-inflicted wounds and poorly executed policy. On Monday, Trump asked for the resignation of National Security Advisor Michael Flynn following revelations that the Flynn misled Vice President Mike Pence about his contact with Russia. The next day, the New York Times reported that multiple Trump advisors were in touch with Russian intelligence advisors during the election campaign. Trump panned the report as fake news and said he had nothing to do with Russia. To the best of my knowledge, no person that I deal with does, he added. Well, the answer couched with the caveat, similar to one routinely used by witnesses on a trial stand, appeared to give him wiggle room. The president more clearly defended Flynn's calls with Russia ambassador to the United States during the transition period after his November victory. He said that while he did not tell his advisor to discuss sanctions with the envoy, I would have directed him if he didn't do it. Well, there we go. You know what? I listened to that whole news conference, and I have to be honest with you. I was pretty impressed by the way Trump handled it. He was very direct. He was very blunt. He was honest about, or seemed to be honest about what he was saying. He dealt with the news people with a blow, and he honestly dealt with them. You know, what he said had a lot of credibility, and it smelled honest to me. So you know what? Time will tell. It surely does look like the majority of the media has waged war against Trump. Of course, he waged war against them too. But you know what? All of this stuff isn't going to make the country run better. It's not going to make it better. As a matter of fact, it's probably going to hurt us. So I think what we need to do is to really, really be more careful about the way we act here. Why don't we give this president a chance and get on his side, and let's see what he can actually do. I think that's what's going on. Well, you know what? The Associated Fact checks going on Trump's messy case that he inherited a mess. Well, President Donald Trump today made a messy case that he inherited a mess from his predecessor. Economic stats and territorial losses of Islamic State insurgents don't support his assertions about the problems handed to him on those fronts. A look at some of his claims in the news conference today and how they compare with the facts. You know, Trump says, to be honest, I inherited a mess. It's a mess at home and abroad, a mess. Here's the actual fact is that a mess is in the eye of the beholder, but by almost every economic measure, President Barack Obama inherited a far worse situation when he became president back in 2009 than he left for Trump. He had to deal with the worst downturn since the Great Depression. Unemployment was spiking, the stock market crashing, the auto industry failing, and millions of Americans risked losing their homes to foreclosure when Obama took the oath of office. None of those statistics is as dire for Trump. Well, that's for sure. You know what? So let's give him a chance. He is a bodacious kind of guy. He likes to brag. I guess we could say braggadocious kind of guy. Let's see if he can put his money where his mouth is. That's what we really need to have. Well, you know what? Trump seeks a pause in the legal fight with revised travel plan that's going to be announced later on, I think either this week or next week. The Trump administration said in court documents on today that it wants to pause in the legal fight over its ban on travelers from 7 predominantly Muslim nations so it can issue a replacement ban as it strives to protect the nation from terrorism. Details of the new proposal were not provided in the filing or at a wide-ranging news conference by Trump, but lawyers for the administration said in the filing that the ban that focuses solely on foreigners who have never entered the United States instead of green card holders already in the United States or who have traveled abroad and want to return would pose no legal difficulties. In so doing, the president will clear the way for immediately protecting the country rather than pursuing further potentially time-consuming litigation, the filing said. Trump said at the news conference that a new order would come next week. I will not back down from defending our country. I got elected on defense of our country, he said. And so that is what it is. Now, listen, we're going to take a short break. I can't believe how fast the time is going by. Anyway, we're going to take a short break, and when we get back, we're going to talk about Trump names Acosta as the new choice to become labor secretary. We're going to talk about that a little bit, so don't go away. We'll be right back.
If you want to increase your client base and sales, then consider this, the Relationship Building Network at RBN. Given the current economic conditions and challenges, we all need to work smarter, make smarter decisions, invest our hard-earned dollars where it'll yield the best return for our investment. Many business professionals claim that the most effective networking group in Orange County is RBN. No other networking group or organization can offer what RBN offers. Make every year your best year. Join RBN and start reaping the benefits today. You know, nearly 3,000 businesses have joined RBN and experienced those benefits. Why join RBN? It's one group. It's one membership. It's no renewals. It's all through Orange County. RBN is a freestyle networking group. No mandatory attendance, no restrictions, no rules, and no penalties. Call them at 949-830-5776 or go to their website at rbninfo.com. That's 949-830-5776. If you've ever dreamed of having your own business to make your life secure, you know Water's Edge Wineries might be just the ticket. In 2004, their founder, Ken Lineberger, created the first winery franchise in California. It was a new concept with all of the functionality of a traditional winery, but without the vineyards. They purchase high-quality grape must from one of the largest winemaking companies in the world. Then they craft each wine carefully and bottle it right at their location. The winery was built to satisfy consumer demand for wine by the bottle and by the glass, but still kept the element of allowing customers to bottle their own custom vintage. Now, they're opening urban wineries across the United States under the brand Water's Edge Wineries. If you've ever dreamed of owning your own winery, it may be in reach right now through Water's Edge Wineries. Just give them a call at 909-468-9463, extension 700. That's Water's Edge Wineries, 909-468-9463. Have you ever found yourself caught between a rock and a hard place? The law offices of Blomberg, Benson & Garrett might be just the answer for you. The attorneys of Blomberg, Benson & Garrett have been serving the Inland Empire since 1989. They're dedicated to the aggressive litigation of civil, criminal, and real estate matters. Over the years, they have recovered tens of millions of dollars for their clients. The firm's practice specializes in litigation of personal injury, accident, slip and fall, real estate, and criminal law cases. The firm provides clients with the care, accuracy, and dedication of experienced attorneys. Blomberg, Benson & Garrett is located at 10300 4th Street, Suite 150 in Rancho Cucamonga, California. They've been providing the Inland Empire residents with outstanding legal services for over 25 years. They look forward to providing you with aggressive legal representation. Call them at 909-945-5000, where you can talk to a person, not a machine. That's 909-945-5000, the law offices of Blomberg, Benson & Garrett. And now let's get back to our show where we talk about politics, money, and you.
And I am Robert Cardoza. You're listening to Robert Cardoza live on the street at the intersection of business and politics, where at 3:12 p.m. Pacific time, still 68 degrees here in the heart of the Inland Empire in sunny Southern California. It's on its way down to 53 degrees, and we're waiting for a rainstorm. It's going to be a doozy. They're expecting about 4 inches of rain in the next 30 hours or so. For Southern California, that's a lot of rain. That's a torrential rain. Hopefully, like I said, in Oroville, California, where the dam is that's been damaged, they'll get some relief up there. We certainly hope so. Anyway, we're talking about news, and Trump names Acosta as the new choice to become labor secretary. Well, seeking a surer bet to fill out his cabinet, President Donald Trump today moved quickly to name law school dean Alexander Costa as his new choice for labor secretary, a day after Andrew Puzder abruptly withdrew from consideration. If confirmed by the Senate, Acosta would be the first Hispanic member of Trump's cabinet. Trump and key Republicans highlighted a key detail on Acosta's resume. He has won unanimous Senate confirmation 3 times to a seat on the National Labor Relations Board as the head of the Justice Department's Civil Rights Division and as U.S. Attorney in Miami. He did very, very well, Trump said in a brief statement to start a White House press conference that was dominated by other challenges facing the new administration. Acosta did not appear with him. Almost immediately, Acosta's Senate prospects looked better than Puzder's had after months of attacks on his personal life, statements, and career as a fast food CEO. Mr. Acosta's nomination is off to a good start because he's already been confirmed by the Senate 3 times, said Senator Lamar Alexander, the chairman of the Senate panel that will hold Acosta's confirmation hearing. Isn't it time we just gave the president the cabinet that he wants? Let him get something done, for Pete's sake. Tying his hands isn't helping anybody. It's not helping him, and it's certainly not helping us. Well, you know what? A day without immigrants? Protest closes restaurants in the United States. The heart of Philadelphia's Italian market was uncommonly quiet. Fine restaurants in New York, San Francisco, and the nation's capital closed for the day. Grocery stores, food trucks, coffee shops, diners, and taco joints in places like Chicago, Los Angeles, and Boston shut down. Immigrants around the United States stayed home for work and school today to demonstrate how important they are to America's economy, and many businesses closed in solidarity in a nationwide protest called A Day Without Immigrants. The boycott was aimed squarely at President Donald Trump's efforts to step up deportations, build a wall at the Mexican border, and close the nation's doors to many travelers. Organizers said that they expected thousands to participate or otherwise show support. Well, we'll see what happens. Isn't it time that we stopped fighting and started supporting something to make this country good again? Even if you don't like the guy, give him a chance, for Pete's sake. Well, you know what? A man pleads guilty to buying rifles in the San Bernardino attack. The California man who bought high-powered rifles used in the San Bernardino terror attack pleaded guilty today, as the father of one of the victims angrily denounced the plea deal as a slap on the wrist. Enrique Marquez Jr. appeared in federal court in Riverside with his hands cuffed and chained to his waist. He sounded choked up after the prosecutor described what he had done. Marquez told the judge he had dropped out of high school and college, but understood the allegations and the consequences of the plea agreement with prosecutors that could bring him up to 25 years in prison while sparing him a trial. Gregory Clayton, the father of one of the people killed, opposed the deal in an impassioned plea to the judge before the hearing. This man supplied these murderers with these weapons, and he's going to get a slap on the wrist, Your Honor, Claiborne said, his voice cracking as he described the pain of losing his 27-year-old daughter, Sierra. My daughter, she didn't deserve this, he said. Well, my heart goes out to him. I feel bad. It's pretty hard not to support the way he's feeling. That's just the way it is, right? Well, you know what? The Islamic State suicide bombing at Pakistan shrine killed 75 people. An Islamic State suicide bomber struck inside a famed shrine in southern Pakistan today, killing at least 75 people in the deadliest attack in the country in more than 2 years. The bomber entered the main hall of the shrine of Lal Shahbaz, I think it's called Kalandar in Shewan, and detonated his payload amid dozens of worshippers, according to 3 security officials who said that at least 20 women and 9 children were among the dead. The officials spoke on condition of anonymity because they were not authorized to brief the reporters. Faisal Paleo, a senior health official of Singh province, confirmed the toll. The Islamic State group claimed the attack in a statement circulated by its Amaq news agency, saying that it had targeted a Shiite gathering. The Sunni extremist group views Shiite as apostates and has targeted Pakistan's Shiite minority in the past. It views Sufi shrines like the one targeted today as a form of idolatry. Idolatry. That's a little bit better. Anyway, I'm getting tongue-tied. I don't know what the heck's going on with that. So why don't I take a break, give my tongue a break, come back, and let's talk about the IRS Loses. The first case up is a payment to a departing business owner is tax-free damages. At least that's what they think. So don't go away. I'll tell you all about that right after these brief messages. Don't go away, folks.
Isn't it time to shine the spotlight on your expertise? The Interview, starring you. Here's your chance to capture 5 minutes of fame with The Interview. This isn't just any interview. This is your opportunity to showcase your expertise and position yourself as a trusted expert in a one-on-one video interview hosted by Robert Cardoza, host of the nationally syndicated show Robert Cardoza Live and powered by AHA Studios. What is it? A professionally recorded video for your use. Robert Cardoza interviews you on the set where he records his show. Professional interview showcases your expertise and value, shot in a state-of-the-art studio. And what's in it for you? Gain credibility as an expert, earn the trust of your target market, educate in a way that intrigues your audience, gain a powerful marketing tool that offers dozens of uses, website, video sharing sites, social media, email, DVDs, direct mail, lobby video, resumes, profile building, all that kind of stuff. Association with the nationally syndicated celebrity. That's right. And let's talk about AHA Studios. AHA is a strategic marketing firm that leverages the powerful and visual persuasion to help your business create powerful messages that connect with your target market. AHA ventures way beyond strategy, delivering the marketing collateral you need to start driving a new business through your doors. AHA has a full-service, in-house, state-of-the-art production studio to bring your messages to life using video. Discover how to make the interview work for you. Call 949-831-2222. That's 949-831-2222. AHA Image Studios Incorporated. Dr. Stephen Tidwell, Gentle Family Dentistry in a caring, personalized environment. Here at Dr. Tidwell's office, we are dedicated to helping you keep your teeth healthy. We are a state-of-the-art dental practice that still believes in traditional values, such as excellent customer service and individual attention. We have a special welcoming offer for you for just $39, a complete exam, personal consultation, professional cleaning, and all necessary x-rays. That's a $266 value for $39. Dr. Tidwell has 2 convenient locations and experienced staff to provide you with professional care and personal attention that you deserve. Call today. Don't delay. A great smile another day. Call 909-944-7308. That's 909-944-7308 for Rancho Cucamonga or San Bernardino. Joel Saltzman is Dr. Wireless. He has turned his considerable expertise into consumer credit risk and wireless security into a highly specialized independent web-based consulting enterprise targeting consumer credit risk analysis and wireless transactional security and monitoring. He works as a wireless analyst, veteran independent agent, and consumer liaison for most wireless telecom carriers and equipment manufacturers. For more than 20 years, corporate and private clients and media audiences have counted on his unvarnished advice while weighing the technology, performance, and cost differences between Sprint, Nextel, AT&T, Verizon, and T-Mobile. Joel specializes in setting up mobile wireless hotspots to be used for disaster preparedness, business continuity, and mobile wireless merchant processing solutions. Call Dr. Wireless at 310-400-4900 or go to his webpage at drwireless.com. Again, call 310-400-4900 or his webpage at drwireless.com. You'll be glad you did. And now, back to our show.
The story you are about to see is true. The names have been changed to protect the innocent.
And I am Robert Cardoza. You're listening to Robert Cardoza Live on the Street at the intersection of business and politics, where at 3:22 p.m. Pacific time, it's currently 68 degrees here in the heart of the Inland Empire in sunny Southern California. Now it's saying it's gone its way down to 49 degrees, and we're expecting, like I said, a ton of rain over the next 30 hours, about 4 inches. That's a lot of rain. But you know what? If you're listening to us on our globally syndicated network and you're in New York City, well, it's 34 degrees and clear. That's cold, you know. And if you're in Chicago, Illinois, listening to our show, it is 42 degrees and it is mostly cloudy. But right now, what I want to talk to you about is something a lot more pleasant. I want to talk to you about the IRS loses. In the first case here, a payment to a departing business owner is tax-free damages. Let me tell you about it. Charles Wright, a minority owner in a company that he helped found, had a dispute with his fellow owners and left the firm, taking a large negotiated settlement. More than $1.2 million of it was for personal injury that Wright actually treated as tax-free. But the IRS said that the description was a tax ploy that never would have been sustained in a trial and taxed the funds anyway. So he went to court to get some satisfaction. This is what the judge said. Wright had suffered real emotional injury caused by his partners. His settlement was negotiated at arm's length, and it included large taxable payments for other items. All this indicates that the allocation to personal injury was made in good faith. So it's upheld. Yeah, the IRS just, you know what, you say white, they say black. That's just the way it's going to be. How about this case? The IRS loses. Playing slots qualifies as a business. Yeah, listen to this. Linda Myers had a full-time job, but also spent 40 hours a week playing casino slots, or slot machines, and then she lost money and deducted her losses as a business expense. But The IRS denied her deduction, saying playing slots is not a business. So they went to court. That's what the judge said. Myers spent full-time hours gambling, had a record of her activities through her casino card, had a system of watching machines to determine which were most likely to pay off, modified the system in light of results, and had hit enough jackpots to show that it was possible for her to have a profit. All this indicated that she had a profit motive, so her gambling was a business, and her losses, yeah, you got it, they were deductible as they should be. Shame on the IRS. You know what? They just keep trying to do this kind of stuff. You've heard me talk about being a fly on the wall when the IRS is doing stuff. That's where we're at right now with the segment we call Inside the IRS. It's just a little bit like the Twilight Zone. Well, you know what? Now, I tell you all the time, these are not actual tax court cases. These are just situations. Information is the most valuable commodity that you have, and that's what we're going to give you here is some information, and that's what we really want you to have. And so here, let's talk about it a little bit. How about, you ever think about the pitfall of making a deal with the IRS? You know, the IRS and the taxpayer are generally bound by the terms of a settlement that they reach to resolve a tax controversy. And this includes offers in compromise and qualified settlement agreements. The downside here, though, is what if you make an offer to settle and the IRS accepts and then discover that you failed to take advantage of a net operating loss carryover or a deduction that you were entitled to? Well, unless the IRS agrees to amend the terms of that contract, which is really unlikely, you're just out of luck. That's the way those things work, just always that way. So you need to be careful with it. Well, how about this? Are you certain where your tax return is being prepared? Is your tax return maybe being prepared in India? Well, you know what? Some tax practitioners, including CPA firms, are outsourcing the preparation of income tax returns to countries offering cheap labor. Now, India is often used in this particular case. When returns are done this way, the tax practitioner signing your return still has primary responsibility for the accuracy of the return, but there's a risk involved. Your private financial information is being transmitted to a developing country where the risk of identity theft is increased. So your best bet? Ask your tax advisor where your return is going to be prepared this year and act accordingly. Here's the deal. You go to a tax preparer that you've got confidence in. You go there because you trust him or her, whichever the case may be, and you have every right to expect that tax preparer is going to be the one who prepares your taxes. If they're not the one that's going to do it, then why are you paying those exorbitant prices, for Pete's sake? You shouldn't have to be doing that. So you know what? You want to be extremely careful when you're doing those kinds of things and know what's going on when you're actually doing those kinds of returns. I'll tell you what, I'd never have my return prepared outside of the United States, and I'd always use a licensed professional. That's the only way that you're going to get out of these kind of situations unscathed. Just trust me. That's the way it's going to be. Always use a licensed professional. But, you'll save money by doing that. They have to have errors and omissions insurance. So if they really do make a mathematical error or something like that you didn't cause, they're going to be liable for it, and they're going to have to pay the piper and not you. So just keep that in mind. Now, that doesn't mean they have to pay the tax. That's yours. But if there's any penalties or any interest, they're going to have to pay that. So keep that in mind. You're always better off using a licensed professional, and that's where you want to get your advice as well. Now, you know what? We're going to take a short break. When we come back, we're going to be talking to Sean LaFave. It is Geared for Wellness Corner. And Sean's guest today is Sarica Cernohous. And Sarica is a whole food nutrition and natural lifestyle consultant. She's just one lovely, lovely lady. She knows an awful lot. So we're going to have a really interesting session with her when we come back. So don't go away. We'll be right back with Sean and Sarica after these brief messages.
If you want to increase your client base and sales, then consider this. The Relationship Building Network at RBN. Given the current economic conditions and challenges, we all need to work smarter, make smarter decisions, invest our hard-earned dollars where it'll yield the best return for our investment. Many business professionals claim that the most effective networking group in Orange County is RBN. No other networking group or organization can offer what RBN offers. Make every year your best year. Join RBN and start reaping the benefits today. Nearly 3,000 businesses have joined RBN and experienced those benefits. Why join RBN? It's one group. It's one membership. It's no renewals. It's all through Orange County. RBN is a freestyle networking group. No mandatory attendance, no restrictions, no rules, and no penalties. Call them at 949-830-5776 or go to their website at rbninfo.com. That's 949-830-5776. If you've ever dreamed of having your own business to make your life secure, Water's Edge Wineries might be just the ticket. In 2004, their founder, Ken Lineberger, created the first winery franchise in California. It was a new concept with all of the functionality of a traditional winery, but without the vineyards. They purchased high-quality grape must from one of the largest winemaking companies in the world. Then they craft each wine carefully and bottle it right at their location. The winery was built to satisfy consumer demand for wine by the bottle and by the glass, but still kept the element of allowing customers to bottle their own custom vintage. Now, they're opening urban wineries across the United States under the brand Water's Edge Wineries. If you've ever dreamed of owning your own winery, it may be in reach right now through Water's Edge Wineries. Just give them a call at 909-468-9463, extension 700. That's Water's Edge Wineries, 909-468-9463. Have you ever found yourself caught between a rock and a hard place? The law offices of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett might be just the answer for you. The attorneys of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett have been serving the Inland Empire since 1989. They're dedicated to the aggressive litigation of civil, criminal, and real estate matters. Over the years, they have recovered tens of millions of dollars for their clients. The firm's practice specializes in litigation of personal injury, accident, slip and fall, real estate, and criminal law cases. The firm provides clients with the care, accuracy, and dedication of experienced attorneys. Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett is located at 10300 4th Street, Suite 150 in Rancho Cucamonga, California. They've been providing the Inland Empire residents with outstanding legal services for over 25 years. They look forward to providing you with aggressive legal representation. Call them at 909-945-5000, where you can talk to a person, not a machine. That's 909-945-5000, the law offices of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett. And now let's get back to our show where we talk about politics, money, and you. And now, ladies and gentlemen, coming to you from his personal meditation lounge in Orange County, California, a professional dedicated to conquering many chronic conditions from autism to weight loss and everything in between. The nationally recognized wellness coach, consultant, and lecturer, Sean LaFave, in his Geared for Wellness Corner.
And I am Robert Cardoza. You're listening to Robert Cardoza live on the street at the intersection of business and politics. We're at 3:33 p.m. Pacific time. It's currently 68 degrees here in the heart of the Inland Empire in sunny Southern California. Well, not too sunny. It looks like we're going to get a thunderstorm tonight. We're going to get about 4 inches of rain in the next 24 to 30 hours. Anyway, it's on its way down to 49 degrees. And you know what? If you're listening to us in that horrible, horrible place called Wichita, Kansas, well, it's 70 degrees and it's clear. But you know what? All the lovely ladies are in Flagstaff, Arizona, where it's 52 degrees and absolutely clear and sunny. You know what? Our good buddy Sean LaFave is going to be with us, and he's got a special guest, Sarica Cernohous. She's a whole food nutrition and natural lifestyle consultant, and that's going to be the best part of today's show. Not Sean, but Sarica. Hey, Sean, you're on the phone. Sean.
Robert, you there?
Yeah, wake up, Sean. We're on, Sean.
I'm here. How are you, sir?
Yeah, the lines out there in Wichita, Kansas are just as foggy as the top of your head, right?
Well, that's not the problem. I'm in Austin, Texas.
Well, that's the problem. You know what? You went from bad to worse, for Pete's sake.
You know what? I tell you what, Austin's a pretty fine little town. But it did take me a while to reply because everything's a little bit slower here in Texas. They got a slower pace of living here. But Austin Austin, I'll tell you what, it was a nice town. I just had some amazing food. I had a Thai meal just now with a good friend of mine, Jack Tips, and it was wonderful.
Well, yeah, but I'll bet you wish you were in Flagstaff where there was no alcohol.
Well, there's alcohol in Austin.
Oh,
we actually had sake actually.
Yes, I know.
So.
All right, hey, listen, let's get your lovely guest on the air with us, Sarica. How you doing?
Hey, I am fine, gentlemen. It's wonderful to be on the call with you.
I haven't heard from you in such a long time. I'm actually embarrassed that I haven't contacted you before this, and it's so nice to have you on with us.
It is so good to be back. Thank you. And it's great to know that Sean's coming closer to Flagstaff, Arizona. I'm going to get to see him on Saturday, which will be great. Well,
I'm excited. I'm super excited about Saturday.
Well, at least you'll be getting some healthy meals for Pete's sake.
We'll try. We're going to be at the mercy of restaurants where we're going.
Oh boy! Hey, Sean, I'm going to let you take over, and I'm only going to interrupt you, a dozen or so times.
All right. So for those who haven't heard Sarica on the show before, Sarica's amazing. She's an incredible healer, acupuncturist, nutritionist, herbologist, all this stuff. I'm sure those aren't the exact accurate terms, but she's one of the most amazing people I've ever met, and just an incredible healer. And I've been trying to research CBD oils here recently, and Sarica just happened to reach out to me and said, "Hey, Sean, I want you to check out this CBD oil. It's amazing." And so I did, and I started taking it myself because there's a lot of health benefits to it. And so Sarica, I'm just going to have you start out, and maybe the first two things that are probably the most common questions I get, of course, is what is CBD oil and how is that different than what we get from marijuana? And then the main question that I get after that is, well, what are the benefits of it? Maybe this is a very general. What are the health benefits? So let's start out with that.
Yeah, as you mentioned, Sean, I am a natural health care practitioner, mainly in acupuncture. And so a lot of why people connect with me is because they are interested in having some relief from pain. And so for about 20 years now, that has been kind of the locus of what I do, is helping people resolve their pain. And I have some wonderful tools that I work with, not the least of which are, of course, acupuncture needles. But it's nice when people can use tools in their own home that really help to resolve pain. And by that, I don't mean resolving pain by taking, maybe a non-steroidal anti-inflammatory medication and just blunting the pain, covering the pain, but actually helping the body to truly recover from the pain presentation, to heal from it. And so, as we're all aware, over these last few years, medical marijuana has become a topic that has become increasingly more popular. People have been looking to this as, an alternative to taking, different types of steroids or opioids or non-steroidal anti-inflammatory medication. So, there's a lot of different ways that people help to blunt that pain, but they can have really deleterious effects on other aspects of their life. And so, what was found about 1990 was an endogenous system that we have within our body that is called the endocannabinoid system. And this just really wasn't recognized by modern medicine until about, 25 years ago or so. And in that period of time, there's been a lot of research around what this system does and how it benefits us. And it's really an amazing thing because it has tremendous play on our sleep cycles, even our hormonal cycles, how it is that we relate to pain, how we feel pain in our body. And it's something that, of course, we want to figure out, well, how can we best nourish that? And one of the best ways that we can nourish that is by consuming foods or plants that have the cannabinoid aspect to them to help nourish that part of us. And my concern around using medical marijuana has always been the high that is associated with that. Because as a natural health care practitioner, I'm not looking to get my patients high, but I am looking to help them feel better. And I have been so grateful to see that there has been a lot of research around using the hemp plant, which is part of the cannabis family, just as marijuana is. But it's a plant that's been used, for industrial purposes for centuries. And it is a plant that is incredibly rich in these naturally occurring cannabinoids, but without the psychoactive component of the marijuana plant, which is that component is called THC. And so to me, it's an absolute win because it has all the benefit of nourishing this naturally occurring part of who we are without getting people high. And so it does come from the same plant family, but it doesn't have the psychoactive component. So yay!
So if now, of course, you talk about we have the endocannabinoid system, so which means we have cannabinoid receptors in our body, just like we have opioid receptors, and of course we produce those opiates naturally for our body to attach to those receptors. So why is it that we have a need to, if we know that we can produce them, or can we produce them? I know for sure that pregnant women produce extra cannabinoids. So when they're breastfeeding, it goes to the baby.
Is that what they call it now? I thought they called them children.
I think they call them a lot of things, but right now we're calling them cannabinoids. And
well, that could be accurate too.
So Sarica, do we still produce those, or why are we not getting enough of them? Why do we need to supplement with this oil? Why is that so important?
Why is that so important? Well, we do produce them. One of the things that helps to produce that is being active, vigorous exercise. That is one way that we can help to produce this. And I think all of us know, we've heard, like a runner's high, it's that kind of feeling. And when a person's in that state, even if they have been experiencing pain, they are experiencing less pain. And that is something that is wonderful. I mean, we are designed to move, and so that's the way that we can nurture that within our bodies. The fact of the matter is most of us don't move the way we're designed to move. And so a lot of people are experiencing pain because of their lifestyle. And so, of course, my best offer is, yes, let's all get out and move in the sunshine. Let's get more movement happening. And that is an important thing, but because of injury, because of lifestyle directives, there are things that keep people from being able to do that to the full expression of maybe what their body really is calling for. And so using foods and plants that help to give us a rich source of these cannabinoids is really an important thing. So when I talk about the hemp plant, that's about the richest source of cannabinoids out there, but there are other sources. Echinacea, which is another herb that is an herb of North America that is used generally for support of the immune system. And it's an interesting thing because, Sean, the company that you and I both use a lot related to supporting our patients and wellness clients is they have a product for support of the adrenal system, which is kind of like the gas pedal of our body. And I've always wondered why it is that echinacea was one of the herbs that was chosen for that formulation. And now, understanding that actually echinacea is rich in cannabinoids, I understand more why that was chosen as a great support for this kind of root deep system of the energy of our body. So that's echinacea is another source, but the issue is echinacea is a medicinal because of its immune function. Really, is something that somebody shouldn't necessarily be taking every day for the rest of their life. Another food that is rich in cannabinoids is chocolate, and so there's one more reason to love dark chocolate. I didn't need another one, but there's one more. But the issue is, of course, with chocolate, that there's only so much of that we can be eating or should be eating, I guess I should say there. And so
I don't know that you can put a limit on chocolate ever. I think
it's a tough thing to do. And so, but it is nice to know that, it's not that we have to go just to the hemp plant for this, but the hemp plant is the richest source of it, and it is something that does not appear to have these kind of restrictive concerns that we see with, these other plant sources that we're talking about.
So why is it that people, I want to use the word, are deficient in cannabinoids in their diet?
Right.
I mean, is it just like everything else that our food is so devoid of nutrition or is it that we just...
That's an easy one. There just isn't enough chocolate in the world.
There's not enough chocolate.
There's not enough chocolate, that's why. I ate it all. This to me, Sean, and you and I have definitely had many times, where we've learned together, and so it's easy for me to speak with you about this, and you'll get it. Other folks, it might be new to them to recognize how much it is that our food chain has changed in the last 100 years. And so when we were talking about the hemp plant and how it was such a common part of agriculture in North America, that hemp plant had so many uses, and one of the end products of it was that, after it had been used for many other things, some of it would be fed to the cattle, and then the cattle would be, of course, consuming the nutrients of the hemp, and that would go into the milk and dairy products that were created through those animals, as well as that nutrient profile being in the other, the muscle cuts and the fat, creating the tallow and this sort of thing. That is something that has been missing from the food chain, from this larger agricultural perspective, for a solid about 100 years or so. And so we are looking at this issue of epigenetics, of where people have had a different amount and kind of information coming into them nutritionally than, their grandparents or their great-grandparents had. But it's something that our bodies need. This is such an important part of helping to maintain a sense of ease in our nervous system. One of the big issues that we see these cannabinoids having such a tremendous impact on is in relation to cancer. And so, I'm not saying there's a direct one-to-one correlation here. However, when we look at the tremendous boom in cancer cases that are happening, one can't help but to consider that this may have some impact and why it is that has happened, especially when we look at the impact that this type of supplementation and nutrition can have in relation to cancer. And so there are some major things. Another big place where these types of supplements are having such a profound impact is in relation to seizure presentations, also in relation to ADHD, also obsessive-compulsive disorder, as well as other neurodegenerative issues like Parkinson's, multiple sclerosis. The use of the CBD oil, the cannabinoid oil, is something that has shown tremendous impact in helping people to recover from these issues. And so the question of, is it a missing component? Well, the quick response that I see in my patients when I work with them, what I've been doing is with my patients, before we get going on their treatment, I'll give them a teaspoon of the CBD oil. and then I'll do the treatment. It is amazing to me the additional impact that has on their pain presentation within that hour of treatment. Now, of course, I'm doing other therapies on these people, but what I see happening is a deeper relaxation, and when that's happening, the body is going from what we call a sympathetic override, where they are in a fight-or-flight pattern. They are moving into a deeper place of rest, relaxation, recovery. My treatments are working better for these people, and they leave, and the treatments are holding longer as a result of it. And so even though people are, like the people I work with, my patients, I really direct people on, eating a more balanced diet and a whole foods diet, and, taking care, in other natural ways. I see this as such a push of additional support in a direction that I didn't expect it to have that big of an impact, and it does. So, yeah, it's missing, and the quick response that I see in people within an hour's time of, like, their pain responses, settling down, or nervous responses calming down, that says to me that body is so ready for that information and that nutrition that they respond within an hour, because that's the thing, Sean, with this type of supplementation, that you and I are used to doing, this nutritional supplementation in our practices for our patients and wellness clients. We know we're doing something good, and over time, people really feel the difference in how they're feeling, and that's wonderful, but it isn't such a quick response generally. When I see something happening like that within an hour, I am impressed.
I agree. When you see something fast, you go, wow, is this really happening? I got my shipment, came into the office last week, and I was excited. Of course, I immediately opened it up, and I took a shot of the oil, just stuck it under my tongue, and it definitely doesn't taste pleasant, but it's not bad. It's very earthy and herby the way it tastes, and then the taste kind of goes away and dissipates, and it actually leaves not a bad aftertaste afterwards. But I was talking to the folks in the office, and one of the girls there, she's a young gal, I think she's late 20s or something like that. And, Jessica is her name, and she was asking about it. She was asking all the benefits. I said, I didn't really give her much of an answer, to say it helps a lot of the cancer, on and on. And I said, you want to try it? And she said, sure. So I cranked it back, and I actually gave her, I know the recommended dosage is 50 milligrams, so I gave her 100 milligrams and just squirted it right under her tongue. And about 30 minutes later, she comes to me, she goes, Sean, I have in my big knuckle on my thumb, and she was kind of rubbing it. She goes, for quite some time now, for a long time, she goes, I've had this chronic, nonstop pain in this knuckle, and she goes, I've been really worried about it because I thought it was like maybe arthritis or something. And she goes, it doesn't hurt right now. She goes, this is the first time in a long time I have no pain in my thumb. And she goes, will that stuff do that? I said, yeah, it's a great anti-inflammatory. It really works well for pain. But I was so shocked that within 30 minutes. And so yeah, it is. It's amazing. And so it's amazing. I mean, we're talking everything from this stuff works with rheumatoid arthritis. Whatever her thumb was going on with her thumb, it was gone in 30 minutes. It's probably going to come back if she doesn't continue on this stuff, at least for a while. But but you're talking about cancer, you're talking about seizures, you're talking about Alzheimer's. So how is it that this one product, and I'm still learning about this. So this is all fascinating to me. How one product, because every time I read about this, I go, wow, this stuff's incredible. What is it that all of this? How is it? Is there something that all of these have in common, like inflammation, or what is it that is that the key, that this just reduces inflammation so much that it's able to help with all these things?
That really is at the cornerstone of it, is that inflammation is at the root of really everything that we're talking about here. And Sean, again, you and I know that. We know that chronic inflammation is the root behind type 2 diabetes, metabolic syndrome, rheumatoid arthritis, lupus, all of these seemingly cardiovascular disease, Alzheimer's disease, all these things that seem like they don't have anything in common. At the root is this inflammatory process. And I'll be honest with you, this endocannabinoid system that we have within us is something that is really still, I think we will look back 100 years from now and say, my gosh, we didn't know much at the 25-year mark. But what we're finding is that exactly that. It has such an impact on really all systems of the body. It's like this underground railroad of communication between all of these areas. And at the root of that, such a huge expression of it is this ability to reverse the inflammatory processes. And that is profound. Being that I'm an herbalist, I'm always, when I think of foods or I think of other plants that were not part of the materia medica that I was trained in, I stand back and I think about, okay, what is that activity that plant or food is doing within the body? And with this, what I consider it as is something that is deeply nourishing to the most basic aspect of the substance of who we are and what we are. And again, that basic need is something that for really most of us has gone missing. And we didn't even know it was a slow depletion that was happening to us. And that is why, Sean, I think that these quick turnarounds that we have when you're working with a really potent CBD that does not have the noise, if you will, of the THC that's in medical marijuana, and you just let the CBD get in there and do the work, the body is so highly responsive to it. It just says, thank you so much, whether it be, the seizure situation, or Parkinson's. So many debilitating, horrible things that this can be an integral part of the nutrition needed to help a person, I don't want to say recover, that's a very strong word, but to help a person improve beyond where they are at a given point in time.
Well, talking about being beyond where we are at a given point in time, it's time for us to get a little beyond this. Go to a commercial break, and we'll be right back with Sean LaFave and Sarica Cernohous right after these brief messages. Don't go away. You don't want to miss this stuff. By the way, I'm going to have myself a bottle of cognac. That'll relieve all my pain and swelling. And when I come back, we can talk about which one was better. We'll be right back. Don't go away.
If you want to increase your client base and sales, then consider this, the Relationship Building Network at RBN. Given the current economic conditions and challenges, we all need to work smarter, make smarter decisions, invest our hard-earned dollars where it'll yield the best return for our investment. Many business professionals claim that the most effective networking group in Orange County is RBN. No other networking group or organization can offer what RBN offers. Make every year your best year. Join RBN and start reaping the benefits today. Nearly 3,000 businesses have joined RBN and experienced those benefits. Why join RBN? It's one group. It's one membership. It's no renewals. It's all through Orange County. RBN is a freestyle networking group. No mandatory attendance, no restrictions, no rules, and no penalties. Call them at 949-830-5776 or go to their website at rbninfo.com. That's 949-830-5776. If you've ever dreamed of having your own business to make your life secure, Water's Edge Wineries might be just the ticket. In 2004, their founder, Ken Leinberger, created the first winery franchise in California. It was a new concept with all of the functionality of a traditional winery, but without the vineyards. They purchased high-quality grape must from one of the largest winemaking companies in the world. Then they craft each wine carefully and bottle it right at their location. The winery was built to satisfy consumer demand for wine by the bottle and by the glass, but still kept the element of allowing customers to bottle their own custom vintage. Now, they're opening urban wineries across the United States under the brand Water's Edge Wineries. If you've ever dreamed of owning your own winery, it may be in reach right now through Water's Edge Wineries. Just give them a call at 909-468-9463, extension 700. That's Water's Edge Wineries, 909-468-9463. Have you ever found yourself caught between a rock and a hard place? The law offices of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett might be just the answer for you. The attorneys of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett have been serving the Inland Empire since 1989. They're dedicated to the aggressive litigation of civil, criminal, and real estate matters. Over the years, they have recovered tens of millions of dollars for their clients. The firm's practice specializes in litigation of personal injury, accident, slip and fall, real estate, and criminal law cases. The firm provides clients with the care, accuracy, and dedication of experienced attorneys. Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett is located at 10300 4th Street, Suite 150 in Rancho Cucamonga, California. They've been providing the Inland Empire residents with outstanding legal services for over 25 years. They look forward to providing you with aggressive legal representation. Call them at 909-945-5000, where you can talk to a person, not a machine. That's 909-945-5000, the law offices of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett. And now let's get back to our show where we talk about politics, money, and you.
And I am Robert Cardoza. You're listening to Robert Cardoza live on the street at the intersection of business and politics. We're at 4 p.m. Pacific time, currently 66 degrees here in the heart of the Inland Empire in sunny Southern California. Well, it's not going to be sunny much longer. Anyway, if you're listening to us on our globally syndicated network and you're in Paris, France, first of all, you guys need to go to bed. It's 1 o'clock in the morning, but it's 45 degrees and it's foggy. And if you're in Rome, Italy, it's 45 degrees and it's clear. So you can decide whether you want to be foggy or clear. But I'll tell you, it's clear over the heads of our two people today. We're with Sean LaFave in his Geared for Wellness corner and his special guest, Sarica Cernohous. You have the microphone, guys.
All right. So, Sarica, I was thinking about this when we were on a commercial break. So, we were talking about inflammation and any really pain and all this. So, I guess the first question is really, if you have someone who comes to you and they say, I take ibuprofen on a regular basis, or I take acetaminophen on a regular basis, and your first thing you're going to say is stop taking that and take CBD oil instead. I mean, is that pretty much a no-brainer right there?
Right. I would say that because it's going to have other healing effects for the body. And again, we're not going to be blunting, and just masking and creating, other issues that we're going to have to deal with in the stomach or the liver or the kidneys. In fact, we're going to be helping to support the body in a very healthy way and really help to turn that around because this plant does have very strong anti-spasmodic and anti-inflammatory action. And that is what I would suggest for someone.
I probably should have had this when I was a kid because everyone told me I was a total spaz when I was a kid. So I guess I probably use CBD deficient.
You know what? That is such an important thing because we see kids. I work with a lot of kids in my practice, and they come, for the most part, the reason that I see kids is because their parents are saying, well, they're having a hard time focusing, or they may feel anxious, and up to this point, it's been great because I will work with them with some acupuncture and some lights and things like this, and they love the treatments. But
Wait a minute, Sarica. You have little kids that are coming to you for you to help them, and you're sticking needles in them?
When they're little, what I do is I tend to work with LED lights, but I'll work with a cold laser on the points, and I use lots of nice essential oils for them, and I massage them, and they love it. I just had a mom leave today, and she said, when I get back from my trip, I've got to book my son, and he's 12. He said, you haven't gotten me in for acupuncture in such a long time. So, the kids are requesting it. It's not the parents.
Okay.
It's so
Yeah, the kids are requesting it because they're not the one that has to pay for it.
Yeah. There's that too.
Sounded a little bit like parent payback.
Yeah, it's true. But this is so wonderful because now with so many of these children, who love the treatment, but I have something for these parents to help them with the kids. And it's so great because it's something, again, that doesn't have that psychoactive component. Instead, it's helping the body to relax. It's helping the nervous system to just calm down and let all systems work better, but not in a way that is classically that stoned presentation, because I know, Sean and Robert, that is always going to be the thing that hangs over this is, oh, you're just making them stoned. I can't quite express how I am not into the high of THC. Like, that to me is not my idea of fun. I don't want that for my patients. I don't want that for my younger patients. And so to have something that delivers on calming the nervous system in a very balanced, natural way, without any sense of high, it means an awful lot to me as a practitioner. And so, yeah, that's another place where I just am so excited to share this with families, is in that arena too. And I'll, totally honest, I've got my kids taking it. And my kids are great kids. They're excellent students, but I'm nourishing their endocannabinoid system, and I can see the difference in how they are. And they were not bad people to begin with, but I'm seeing, immediately I saw a difference in just being more calm. And that's saying a lot because my kids are 10 and 12, so I would definitely notice. It's really amazing.
So we got, of course, there's when we're talking about CBD oil, and of course the product that you introduced me to has no THC. So the downside of that brain high, that high that people get from smoking pot was enough to stop a very large segment of our population from even trying to use medical marijuana at all. Of course, now also CBT oil is an option. And of course, with things like, ibuprofen, you're going to destroy your kidneys eventually. And in fact, I talked to a woman who did kidney dialysis for a living. She's a nurse, and she says the number one reason people come in for kidney dialysis is because of kidney damage due to ibuprofen consumption. And of course, acetaminophen is going to destroy your liver. People die from it. Literally, there's an ongoing class action lawsuit for that. So is there a downside to CBD oil?
That is really, Sean, I've been looking, and I have
too. That's why I'm asking, because I haven't seen one.
I haven't seen it, and I would say it if I did. I mean, I am the first to step forward with contraindications, cautions, absolutely. I have not seen it, and so that says an awful lot to me. That's amazing. That is
it's like asking if there's a downside to broccoli, right?
What's that, hon?
It's like asking if there's a downside to broccoli. Other than
exactly.
It tastes worse than broccoli, even if you're a President Bush.
I know. I mean, that's exactly it. There's just, I've been looking, still haven't seen the downside, and I'm sure at some point we'll bump into something, but for a straight CBD without the THC, haven't found it yet. And that is amazing to me, because there's always going to be the shoe falling on the other side. Haven't found the other shoe, though. So it's amazing.
So you give it to your kids, they're 10 and 12.
Yeah.
Is there a guideline or any recommendation for kids? Is there a certain age? I mean, obviously, if we know that breastfeeding moms produce cannabinoids for the benefit of the baby, my assumption would be there's no age too young to give a child CBD. So do you put any limits on it at all for kids?
I would, just in terms of titration of amounts. So kind of the rule of thumb.
Sure.
Yeah. So for an adult, it's recommended that the average intake should be around 50 milligrams of CBD a day. And so, but an average adult there can be quite a range. And also, the processing factors of, a woman versus a man. There are a lot of things that need to be considered, but kind of the rule of thumb is 50 milligrams a day for just standard dosing of it. And so when I'm looking at, my kids and they're in the, 90-pound range or so, I'm giving them a little less than that. For them, I'm doing about 30 milligrams a day. And that seems to really be kind of amazing because, like I say, at that dose, I'm seeing within the day, I thought, oh gosh, it's because I'm looking for it. But no, the continued behavior shift continued and continued and continued and continued. And again, I'm talking about my kids here who are honor students at the toughest school in the state. I mean, this is a renowned school. So my kids are good students. They have a great diet. They're social. They're nice people. And I still could see a difference in my children within a day. Amazing to me.
It's always amazing as a parent to see a difference in their kid. You're like, wow, really, that's my kid.
I know.
So the average person, you say 50 milligrams for the average person. Let's say that's, of course, the average person not dealing with cancer, rheumatoid arthritis, diabetes, or no neurological. Let's say it's just an average person who's overall fairly healthy. What could that person expect to? What difference would I see in my life as an average person? Because I get people ask me, like, well, why are you taking it? You don't need it. And I'm going, you're right, I don't have any major health conditions, but I just want to see how it makes me feel in general. So what can the average person expect?
Right. When used topically, and again, Sean, I have to say here, I have used other medical marijuana topically, but because of the noise, if you will, of the THC and the other plant constituents, it did not have the fast-acting effect that the straight CBD salve has, and so immediate relief of pain when it's applied topically. Just really starting to dial down the volume on the pain. That's amazing to me. And again, I think we all kind of have cranky body syndrome, to various degrees because of our lifestyles. And so immediately beginning to notice, whoa, that neck, that kink in my neck is actually kind of not so bad after about a half an hour to an hour. Just a more of a calm affect around sleep and just a little bit more mood stabilization. That's one thing. My husband, he's been taking it too, of course. And
you're talking about the guy that needs a real attitude adjustment, right?
He gets to live with me. Exactly. And, Todd, he's 49 and he played hockey and football and just really beat the tar out of his body. He was a golf pro for 30 years. And so, he's come to this stage in his life with some aches and pains. And to see, within the day, he said, I'm feeling better. I could see it on him. My parents, when they came to visit, they said, he is holding so much less stress in his face. He looks, and I see it too. And I live with the guy. Like, I can see the difference on him. But what he told me this morning is he said, I really feel like my cognition is clearer than it has been.
Okay, now I need to stop you for just a second because this is raising a lot of questions. And that is you've been talking about these things and talking about what sounds like an attitude adjustment. It sounds like a personality adjustment. And is that because when you actually apply these modalities that they actually feel less pain, more comfort, and as a result, they're more relaxed and they appear to be a mood change?
Right. The thing about it, Robert, is again, this is still kind of in its infancy of study. And so there are different modes of communication that are happening with the body. So there are these receptors that are on the central nervous system, and then there are also receptors that are found more throughout the body on the organs and on the immune system. And so these receptors are being affected by this heavier dosing of cannabinoids in the diet. And so the effect is multifactorial, and it's going to where the body needs it the most. But this is what I say to my patients, when they come for acupuncture, is that, people call me a healer and all this, and I'm like, I'm not a healer. What I am is I am a person who is here helping you direct traffic on your body so that you are able to recover better. And I'll just applaud somebody. Look at the good job you are doing of healing. And this is what this plant is helping to do as well, is it is helping the body to heal. And as we do that, rather than doing the spiraling down that most of us expect, as the days go on and we get older, this is the sort of thing that allows for more of a spiraling up, because what we're doing is we're leaving the pressure on, the pain sensation. We're lifting the mood. All of these things are happening. And so it's not that we can say, oh, it's just this one thing that caused everything else to shift. It's everything working in concert together to slowly but surely continue to elevate. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
Okay.
It does.
Okay, cool.
So now the one thing that neither of you have touched upon is, we've got a lot of people listening to this. Are they talking about making a lifetime investment in this? Is this something that you take the rest of your life? Is this something you take for a few months? Is this something that is going to be tremendous? Is it going to be like a big investment for people? Let's get into that area.
Right. Absolutely. To me, I think at the beginning it's important to front load a body with it. And so I can see the importance of investing at the beginning, of using it. And I'll be honest, if a person's got some major stuff going on and they have been using some heavy drugs, sleep and anxiety, this sort of thing, I would think that a 50 milligram dose is just going to kind of get them over the line, just barely. There are stronger formulations than that to help somebody at the beginning. And that's what, let's just be honest, a lot of people would probably need that before they could make a dent into maybe the benzodiazepine they might be taking, or, so things like Xanax or Valium, something like that. Mm-hmm. To be able to move the dial on what they feel, they might need a higher dose at the beginning. Then I think that as a person is working with it, they can begin to tell, can I kind of back off a little bit, and see how I feel. And to me, that's what really being responsible to yourself and listening to your body, that's the most important thing. And so that is part of what can happen, though, when we do finally get the noise of pain and anxiety to dial down. It becomes easier to listen to our bodies, and we don't feel like we need to blunt them. And so I would say begin, with like a pretty good dose at the beginning. Give it a few months until you, however long you feel like, whoa, I am noticing a difference in how I'm feeling. And then at that point, start kind of, pulling back from it and see if that has a bad impact for you. It may be that using a supplement like this might be the thing that is going to just be the best investment you can do for the rest of your days. So
when you say a dose, are you saying a daily dose, or are you taking multiple doses per day? Explain that a little bit.
Yeah, and when I say a daily dose, I'm talking about, like the way that I've been working with my patients is I'll say, here's a 25 milligram capsule. Let's go ahead and have you take one at breakfast and go ahead and take one at dinner. And so that gets that person over that 50 milligram line right there. Mm-hmm. And so that's most certainly one way that it could be employed. And then, for that person, they might say, okay, well, I'm going to try just doing it breakfast time and see if I notice the difference in how I'm feeling. And then maybe I'll go to every other day. And kind of find your sweet spot there. And know that, I've had a really, I've gone through a period of great stress, or I know I'm about to, maybe this would be a good time to supplement myself a little bit additionally so that I hold up better for what I'm going to be enduring. And honestly, to me, using a tool like that, rather than using like a benzodiazepine or an SSRI, to get through a challenging situation and allow yourself to really navigate the waters and still come out the other side healthy, that's really potent. And quite honestly, that's our birthright, to be able to go through stressful situations and to come out the other side stronger and not worn out from the process and not hooked on another drug. I mean, these benzodiazepines that people use, for sleep and for anxiety, which are such common presentations. Oh my gosh, those are so rough on the system in so many ways, and over time really can lead to major issues, and not the least of which is drug addiction.
Well, you know what? I'm addicted to commercials, and we're going to take a commercial break right now. And when we come back, you and or Sean are going to have to tell our listeners what kind of a monthly financial investment this is going to be. We'll be right back with Sean LaFave and Sarica Cernohous right after these brief messages. Do not go away.
Isn't it time to shine the spotlight on your expertise? The Interview, starring you. Here's your chance to capture 5 minutes of fame with The Interview. This isn't just any interview. This is your opportunity to showcase your expertise and position yourself as a trusted expert in a one-on-one video interview hosted by Robert Cardoza, host of the nationally syndicated show Robert Cardoza Live and powered by AHA Studios. What is it? A professionally recorded video for your use. Robert Cardoza interviews you on the set where he records his show. Professional interview showcases your expertise and value, shot in a state-of-the-art studio. And what's in it for you? Gain credibility as an expert, earn the trust of your target market, educate in a way that intrigues your audience, gain a powerful marketing tool that offers dozens of uses, website, video sharing sites, social media, email, DVDs, direct mail, lobby video, resumes, profile building, all that kind of stuff. Association with the nationally syndicated celebrity. That's right. And let's talk about AHA Studios. AHA is a strategic marketing firm that leverages the powerful and visual persuasion to help your business create powerful messages that connect with your target market. AHA ventures way beyond strategy, delivering the marketing collateral you need to start driving a new business through your doors. AHA has a full-service, in-house, state-of-the-art production studio to bring your messages to life using video. Discover how to make The Interview work for you. Call 949-831-2222. That's 949-831-2222. AHA Image Studios Incorporated. Dr. Stephen Tidwell, Gentle Family Dentistry in a caring, personalized environment. Here at Dr. Tidwell's office, we are dedicated to helping you keep your teeth healthy. We are a state-of-the-art dental practice that still believes in traditional values, such as excellent customer service and individual attention. We have a special welcoming offer for you for just $39. A complete exam, personal consultation, professional cleaning, and all necessary x-rays. That's a $266 value for $39. Dr. Tidwell has 2 convenient locations and experienced staff to provide you with professional care and personal attention that you deserve. Call today. Don't delay. A great smile another day. Call 909-944-7308. That's 909-944-7308 for Rancho Cucamonga or San Bernardino. Joel Saltzman is Dr. Wireless. He has turned his considerable expertise into consumer credit risk and wireless security into a highly specialized independent web-based consulting enterprise targeting consumer credit risk analysis and wireless transactional security and monitoring. He works as a wireless analyst, veteran independent agent, and consumer liaison for most wireless telecom carriers and equipment manufacturers. For more than 20 years, corporate and private clients and media audiences have counted on his unvarnished advice while weighing the technology, performance, and cost differences between Sprint, Nextel, AT&T, Verizon, and T-Mobile. Joel specializes in setting up mobile wireless hotspots to be used for disaster preparedness, business continuity, and mobile wireless merchant processing solutions. Call Dr. Wireless at 310-400-4900 or go to his webpage at drwireless.com. Again, call 310-400-4900 or his webpage at drwireless.com. You'll be glad you did. And now, back to our show.
And I am Robert Cardoza. You're listening to Robert Cardoza live on the street at the intersection of business and politics. We're at 4:22 p.m. Pacific time. Hey, it's not going down at all. It's still 68 degrees here in the heart of the Inland Empire in sunny Southern California. But you know what? If you're one of our listeners and you're in London, England, it's 46 degrees and it's partly cloudy. And if you're residing in Vienna, Austria, you lucky dog, it's 28 degrees and it's mostly cloudy. Don't go outside. Stay all bundled up. Talk about bundled up. Wouldn't you like to be bundled up with our guest, Sarica Cernohous? She is a pretty lady, although she's taken already. But I know that Sean's going to go visit her, and she's probably going to give him something stronger than this stuff that she's talking about when he comes to visit. Anyway, we need to find out with all of you folks out there that are contemplating getting this mood adjustment, what you're going to pay for this on an average. So you guys, let's get to it.
After all that, I'm going to pay a lot more than I've been paying, Robert. Thanks.
Oh, my dear. You know, Robert, that's a great question. When I first started looking at this for my patients, first off, because I live in a state where medical marijuana is not easily accessed, I had to really kind of jump through a lot of hoops to try and get this back to where I could work with it with patients. And one of the hoops, beyond just the logistics of getting it to me, which was not easy, but really the biggest hoop was the cost. This is not cheap. And and I've really kind of kicked and screamed about it, that this is a plant medicine that among all the plant medicines I've worked with for 20 years, this is the most expensive plant medicine. However, I hope if everyone listening, has been paying attention, Sean and I were saying we keep looking and we don't see any contraindications. We're not seeing any cautionary statements. And that's kind of an amazing thing because in the pharmacopoeia that I am trained in, it is always said that, if an herb or a medicine is strong enough to work in one direction, then there are going to be other attributes that are going to be what we would call the side effects, the things that we don't necessarily want there. And what we are seeing at this, 50 milligram a day dosage of CBD, as a standard kind of maintenance dose for people, I don't see contraindications. So that's amazing. It is an incredibly balanced nutritional. And so, but the cost is still there. Now, the reason I brought all that up is because as I was continuing to look at products for patients who were really needing significant pain relief, this is when I started looking at the one company we're working with specifically now. And that was what I have found is that the price point for these pure CBD products that we're working with is about 30% less than what I was paying before. Before it was just so prohibitive that there were only a few families I work with that could have afforded it anyway.
But before you actually get to that actual cost, there's going to be some savings too, because people are going to not need to take some of the medications they're currently taking in lieu of this, right?
That's exactly it. So, and that's, so doctors talk, to their patients about medicines. I'm talking to my patients and saying, yes, this is costly, but the way I see it is that it is making it so all the other supplements that you would be using, you need to use less of those. Some of them you will probably be able to let go of because this has such a broad range of effect. And so whether it's supplements or it's medications or other therapies that people go to, physical therapy, chiropractic, it just is a way to help reduce those other costs. So that's pretty darned awesome. And I would say at this, for a pure CBD, strain that we're talking about, it's like that 50 milligram a day dosage for a person, with the company that I'm working with, I would say a person would be spending, it would be probably about $180 to $200 a month.
Well, that's not as bad as I thought it was going to be. And then you got the offset savings of not only being healthier and feeling better and sleeping better, but not taking some of the pain medications you've had to take in the past.
Exactly. And that really is how I'm summing it up as I think about it. It's like, well, okay, that's a major trade-off there. And again, once you kind of get flush with that system within your body, it may be that you can back off some and see how you do, and maybe bring in other foods that help to nourish that. This is just such a great and potent way to do it. It's just an easy shoe-in for it. But yeah, would you say that's about right, Sean, with what you've seen?
Yeah. I was going to say that exact same thing. I was going to say it's going to be less than $200. Give it, somewhere like you said, 160 to 200. But I would just say, to make it easy, it's going to be under $200. And the thing that when I look at that, a lot of people go, oh my gosh, $200. I mean, I don't know that I can afford that. But going back to your question, Robert, you said, well, how long do I need to take this? Is it for life? Just for a few months? If you go to your doctor and he says you've got rheumatoid arthritis, he's going to give you a drug. He's going to tell you need to take it for the rest of your life. Same thing with diabetes. Same thing with hypothyroidism. I mean, there is a very long list of chronic health conditions that people are suffering from in this country, that when they go to their medical doctor gives them a drug. And this drug has a list of side effects all the way up to and including death. And you've got to pay for this stuff and take it for the rest of your life. And so I look at this, and I go, for less than $200 a month, I can take something that's going to reduce my overall inflammation. It's going to help me think clearer. It's going to help me sleep better. It has all these added benefits. It's not like I'm taking something that's going to prevent me from getting rheumatoid arthritis, or just fix my thyroid, or just fix my pain that I have in my shoulder or whatever. This comes with a long list of benefits, and I'm telling you, Robert, I asked Sarica the question because I've not been able to find a downside to this. So for $200 a month, I'm going, this is actually a deal. This is the deal of the century. And it seems, I've read so many things, and I've talked to so many people that go, yeah, my pain is gone. I can think better, I sleep better, and on and on and on. And so, to go, do I need to take this for the rest of my life? I go, you know what? You don't have to ask me if I'm going to take this for the rest of my life if it actually performs the way that I think it is. And there's a lot of things that I would take, for the rest of my life.
Well, you know what? And Sean, I don't have a problem with that, because the minute you're born, you have to start eating, and you have to do that for the rest of your life too, or you're going to die. One of the questions I have is, though, when you're taking this herb or this supplement, or whatever you're referring to it as, what if you get stopped for a traffic violation and they decide they want you to blow in the balloon? Is this going to kick anything off here?
Not with the one that Sean and I are working with, especially the one that I'm working with. It's a pure CBD oil. It has been tested for zero trace THC, and it's a great one too, because the oil that Sean is working with, it's got more of the full spectrum of the plant in it, so it has that flavor profile. The one that I'm working with, it has zero scent. It has zero flavor. And so if a person is averse to, a strong flavor profile, the one that I'm working with at a 3/4 teaspoon dose of 25 milligrams it's like oily water. It's nothing. And if a person is, a firefighter or a policeman, they're drug tested in any way, they're an athlete, there will be no issue with THC showing up.
Mm.
That's cool.
And the CBD is not tested for it, because it's not an illegal substance. It's not banned in any way. So yeah, if you take the CBD oil that is 100% pure CBD, and that's where you're getting all the benefits from, then you're good to go. You're not going to have any problem with any type of urinalysis.
So it's really physiological. Does it put you on any kind of an artificial high? Anything that would make authorities question your ability to function?
No, not at all. Not at all. And that really is the exciting part of it to me. That means an awful lot to me. Probably more than most people. I don't like that feeling, and I don't want that to be something my patients experience in any way, shape, or form.
I can't remember her name right now. I don't know if it was Jana or who it was that told us about her friends in Colorado they smoke pods. And by the way, Robert, I didn't know this. I just learned this recently, that the segment of our population that smokes the most marijuana in the United States are people in their 60s. It's not the young generation out partying. It's actually
I'm well above that, so it's too late for me.
Yeah, it's too late for you. But what she was, I'm sure you can still get started. But I hear it goes great with cognac. But what she was telling us, only glass goes good with cognac. I totally agree with that. Maybe a good cigar.
Yeah.
But she's got these friends in Colorado that smoke marijuana. Of course, now it's legal. They do it all the time. And they started taking the CBD oil also. And what she said was they were coming back to her going, you know what? After we started taking CBD oil for a while, what we realized is we forgot to smoke our pot as much as we did in the past. Which would basically make you believe that they're wanting to smoke pot, not just for the THC high, but their body needs the cannabinoids in it, the CBD oil that they're also getting. They're getting trace amounts of CBD from marijuana and a whole bunch of THC. Well, now they're getting a whole bunch of CBD in the oil, and so they don't have that need to smoke the pot as much. So it's not even that they're craving the high from the THC. Their body is craving that CBD that they get in such little amounts that they want to smoke pot all day. And now they don't feel the need to do that because they're on CBD oil.
Yeah, it's so wonderful. That's so good.
Yeah, it's like James. Yeah, like you sound like James Brown. I feel good. All right, hey, listen. You got 3 minutes to tell me anything you want to tell me, and then I've got to go to another commercial.
Well, if I spent the next 3 minutes telling you everything I wanted to tell you, you'd never let me back on the air again.
I thought we were friends.
We are. That's why I want to tell you. No, I don't know, Sarica. You want to close with anything, Sarica?
I think that one of the biggest things that has been touched upon, but I really want to touch on big time, is that the effect that this has on the mind in a good way. And in the more senior population, what we see are impacts related to Alzheimer's and dementia. And in the young, and in the middle age, we see ADHD and OCD and aggression. And then in children, we are seeing, medication for ADHD and OCD. So, to me, the mental aspect of this, to be able to work with something that is not a tranquilizer, that is not a stimulant, is not something that has negative effect on the hormonal system of the body as far as we can see, instead is something that just helps the body to function more optimally, so the mind functions more optimally, so that our society functions more optimally. This is a beautiful thing. And so, no matter the age, the mental impact of this is something that I think is really, really exciting, very profound.
Wow. So could you send a sample of this to the White House and just see if it'll help?
I know.
It was just a thought. It was just a thought.
Oh, believe me, I thought
it. Well, listen, this has been an exciting show. Sean, I can't remember the last show where you were so silent.
I know. It's crazy. It's hard just sitting here asking questions and then shutting up. It doesn't come down.
Yeah, now you know how it feels, right?
I know how you feel, exactly. There were several times that I was trying to say something, I'm like, no, I'll just let her keep rolling.
Well,
so, I'm able to sympathize with you now.
Well, Sarica, it's been lovely having you on. We need to have you on again soon. Sean, it was a great idea to put Sarica on and talk about this. I think we probably just touched the tip of the iceberg. It is something that's really exciting, and it's something for people that are out there, if they're suffering, you know what? $200 is nothing if it's going to make you feel good. And you know what makes me feel good? The fact that I got good friends like Sean and Sarica. Now, you guys go out and have a great week, a great weekend. Stay safe. Stay as dry as you can. Sean, you be careful on the roads. And we'll talk to, at least Sean will talk to next Tuesday. And don't do anything you have to apologize for, Sean.
Well, I never do.
Okay. All right, so you guys take care. Have a good week.
You guys too. Bye.
All right, bye-bye.
Thanks, Sarica. Bye, guys.
All right. And the rest of you folks, stay tuned, because when we come back, we're going to be doing the birthdays for the day, the secret daily teaching for your life, and interesting but useless facts. And right after that, we'll do our tribute to the late, great Paul Harvey and the rest of the story. And today's story, Macy's Grudge. You're not going to believe it. This is really a good one. We'll be right back. Don't go away.
If you want to increase your client base and sales, then consider this, the Relationship Building Network at RBN. Given the current economic conditions and challenges, we all need to work smarter, make smarter decisions, invest our hard-earned dollars where it'll yield the best return for our investment. Many business professionals claim that the most effective networking group in Orange County is RBN. No other networking group or organization can offer what RBN offers. Make every year your best year. Join RBN and start reaping the benefits today. You know, nearly 3,000 businesses have joined RBN and experienced those benefits. Why join RBN? It's one group. It's one membership. It's no renewals. It's all through Orange County. RBN is a freestyle networking group. No mandatory attendance, no restrictions, no rules, and no penalties. Call them at 949-830-5776 or go to their website at rbninfo.com. That's 949-830-5776. If you've ever dreamed of having your own business to make your life secure, you know Water's Edge Wineries might be just the ticket. In 2004, their founder, Ken Lineberger, created the first winery franchise in California. It was a new concept with all of the functionality of a traditional winery, but without the vineyards. They purchased high-quality grape must from one of the largest winemaking companies in the world. Then they craft each wine carefully and bottle it right at their location. The winery was built to satisfy consumer demand for wine by the bottle and by the glass, but still kept the element of allowing customers to bottle their own custom vintage. Now, they're opening urban wineries across the United States under the brand Water's Edge Wineries. If you've ever dreamed of owning your own winery, it may be in reach right now through Water's Edge Wineries. Just give them a call at 909-468-9463, extension 700. That's Water's Edge Wineries, 909-468-9463. Have you ever found yourself caught between a rock and a hard place? The law offices of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett might be just the answer for you. The attorneys of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett have been serving the Inland Empire since 1989. They're dedicated to the aggressive litigation of civil, criminal, and real estate matters. Over the years, they have recovered tens of millions of dollars for their clients. The firm's practice specializes in litigation of personal injury, accident, slip and fall, real estate, and criminal law cases. The firm provides clients with the care, accuracy, and dedication of experienced attorneys. Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett is located at 10300 4th Street, Suite 150 in Rancho Cucamonga, California. They've been providing the Inland Empire residents with outstanding legal services for over 25 years. They look forward to providing you with aggressive legal representation. Call them at 909-945-5000, where you can talk to a person, not a machine. That's 909-945-5000, the law offices of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett. And now let's get back to our show where we talk about politics, money, and you.
And I am Robert Cardoza. You're listening to Robert Cardoza live on the street at the intersection of business and politics. We're at 4:40 p.m. Pacific time. It's still 68 degrees in the heart of the Inland Empire in sunny Southern California. If you're listening to our show and you're in Madrid, Spain, it's 48 degrees and it is clear. And if you're in Tokyo, Japan, hey, it's 61 degrees and it is also very clear. Well, right now, what I want to do is talk to you about a positive mental attitude. Yeah, you hear me talk about it every single day. And you know what? I can't say enough about having a positive mental attitude. You decide what's going to go on in your life and how your life's going to go. You decide if you're going to be happy or sad or rich or poor or success or a failure. You decide even how the people around you are going to be responding. You do it every single morning when you look in the mirror and you say, wow, I'm going to have the greatest, most fun day today. I'm going to be successful. I'm going to be profitable. I'm going to make a lot of headway in my career. I'm going to make everybody around me happy that they are. You decide how your life's going to be. Don't wait for somebody else to decide because it may not turn out the way you like. Well, our teaching for today, the daily practice of gratitude is one of the conduits by which your wealth will come to you. You know who said that? Well, Wallace Wattles said that in 1860. He died in 1911. He was the author of the 1910 prosperity classic, The Science of Getting Rich. Yeah, and you can too. You just got to want to. You got to think about it every day. You owe it to yourself. You work for it. Don't let anybody deprive you of it. And I mean nobody. Yeah. Well, you know what today is. Sure you do. Today is Thursday. It's February the 16th, and it is somebody's birthday. Yes, sir. And we've got some terrific birthdays today, so I might as well not hang you up. Get you right to them. You're going to enjoy them. This first guy, God, is somebody that a lot of you will know. He was born in 1935, died in a skiing accident in 1998. You know, he ran right into a tree. Anyway, he was a record producer, a singer, an actor, and a politician whose career spanned over 3 decades. Happy birthday, Sonny Bono. Yeah, part of Sonny and Cher. And someone born in 1948, a public speaker, a teacher on spirituality, and the author of 2 books. Happy birthday, Eckhart Tolle. And then finally, here's a guy that you've all heard of, born in 1958, a rapper, an actor. He was no more than Ice-T. And then finally, a man born in 1959, former world #1 professional tennis player. Happy birthday, John McEnroe. Yeah. Well, you know what? I always tell you all, do you know what happened today in history? Well, I'm going to tell you the same thing today. Only I'm going to tell you what happened in history, just like I do every day. On February the 16th, 1852, Studebaker Brothers Wagon Company, precursor of the automobile manufacturing, was established. The Studebaker. Now, a lot of you probably don't remember the Studebaker. I do. I'm old enough for that. How about this? Did you know that on February 16th, 1957, Toddler's Truce, a controversial TV close down between 6 p.m. and 7 p.m., was abolished in the United Kingdom. And then finally, on this date in 1923, the tomb of King Tutankhamun was unsealed in Egypt. Yeah. You know, all those things, I've lived through them. I remember, well, not all those things, but I remember most of them anyway. Here's, you know what, our quote for today comes from Nick Diamos. And Nick says, everybody lies, but it doesn't matter because nobody listens. Now, see? Ask yourself, that guy that's living in the White House, is anybody listening? You wonder, don't you? Anyway, you know what? It's time for us to talk about those interesting but useless facts. We've got a number of those, and I'm running kind of fast here today. I don't know what's going on, but we got enough time to give you quite a few of them. So let's get right to them. You know, the very first Rose Bowl game was held in 1902 in Pasadena, California, just up the street from me here. The University of Michigan beat Sanford 49-0. Wow. What a game that must have been. Actually, it's a boring game, right? You don't want games like that. Did you know bananas grow pointing upwards? Yeah. Interesting. If you think about it. Did you know that the save icon in Microsoft Office programs shows a floppy disk with the shutter on backwards? Yeah, it does. It do. You know, the largest cave in the world, the Sarawak Chamber in Malaysia, is 2,300 feet long and 980 feet wide and more than 230 feet high. Wow. I'll bet you that's something to see. I've been in some of those caves, not in Malaysia, but I've been into a lot of caves. I've been in, in Australia, and I've been in Spain and in the United States. They are just magnificent, just really something to see. Did you know that there are over 7,000 different types of apples? 7,000 different types of apples? I wonder what kind Adam and Eve ate. I bet it was a red apple. Did you know that armadillos can walk underwater? They got all that protection on them, that is probably they're too heavy to do anything else but walk. You know what? Before the enactment of the 1978 law that made it mandatory for dog owners in New York City to clean up after their pets, approximately 40 million pounds of dog excrement were deposited on the streets every single year. Holy mackerel. That's a lot of stuff, huh? Mm-hmm. You know that actress Grace Kelly's movies were banned in Monaco by order of Prince Rainier. Can you imagine? He banned the movies of his wife. I guess it was to show respect for royalty, I guess. You'd think he'd be proud of him, but oh well. MCW in Columbus was the first state college for women in the country, and it was established in 1884. Yeah. 1884. Here's one that you're going to find interesting. Eleanor Roosevelt wrote David O. Selznick to ask that her maid, Lizzie McDuffie, be considered for the role of Mammy in Gone with the Wind. Yeah, I don't think she got it. Did you know that Harpo Studios is just Oprah backwards? That's cool, huh? Yeah. Oprah backwards. Did you know that all hurricanes form over the sea and can last up to 10 days? Wow. Well, you know what? Male seagulls have red legs. That's how you can tell. So I'm guessing that female seagulls have just skin-colored legs. I'm guessing. I don't know. Well, let's try this one on. Did you know that an adult hippo can open its mouth wide enough to fit a 4-foot-tall child inside? Now that is scary. Really scary. Here's one for you. The Hawaiian alphabet consists of only 12 letters, 5 vowels, A, E, I, O, U, and 7 consonants, H, K, L, M, N, P, and W. Just in case you were wondering. How about this? Streetcar conductors, taxi drivers, and business executives have the highest statistical chance of getting peptic ulcers. I'm glad I'm none of those. Try this on for size. Scientists at the Texas A&M University's Institute for Biosciences and Technology are working on ways to grow vaccines inside of bananas. Yeah, you got that right. Inside of bananas. Well, let me leave you with this. Did you know that there are around 30 milligrams of caffeine in the average chocolate bar, while a cup of coffee has around 100 to 150? Now, there's one for you. Which would you rather have? Well, you know what? Depending on the day and the feeling, I'd go for either one of them. Now, we're going to take a short break, and when we come back, we're going to do our tribute to the late, great Paul Harvey and the rest of the story. So don't go away, folks.
Isn't it time to shine the spotlight on your expertise? The Interview, starring you. Here's your chance to capture 5 minutes of fame with The Interview. This isn't just any interview. This is your opportunity to showcase your expertise and position yourself as a trusted expert in a one-on-one video interview hosted by Robert Cardoza, host of the nationally syndicated show Robert Cardoza Live and powered by AHA Studios. What is it? A professionally recorded video for your use. Robert Cardoza interviews you on the set where he records his show. Professional interview showcases your expertise and value, shot in a state-of-the-art studio. And what's in it for you? Gain credibility as an expert, earn the trust of your target market, educate in a way that intrigues your audience, gain a powerful marketing tool that offers dozens of uses, website, video sharing sites, social media, email, DVDs, direct mail, lobby video, resumes, profile building, all that kind of stuff. Association with the nationally syndicated celebrity. That's right. And let's talk about AHA Studios. AHA is a strategic marketing firm that leverages the powerful and visual persuasion to help your business create powerful messages that connect with your target market. AHA ventures way beyond strategy, delivering the marketing collateral you need to start driving a new business through your doors. AHA has a full-service, in-house, state-of-the-art production studio to bring your messages to life using video. Discover how to make the interview work for you. Call 949-831-2222. That's 949-831-2222. AHA Image Studios, Incorporated. Dr. Stephen Tidwell, Gentle Family Dentistry in a caring, personalized environment. Here at Dr. Tidwell's office, we are dedicated to helping you keep your teeth healthy. We are a state-of-the-art dental practice that still believes in traditional values, such as excellent customer service and individual attention. We have a special welcoming offer for you for just $39, a complete exam, personal consultation, professional cleaning, and all necessary x-rays. That's a $266 value for $39. Dr. Tidwell has 2 convenient locations and experienced staff to provide you with professional care and personal attention that you deserve. Call today. Don't delay. A great smile another day. Call 909-944-7308. That's 909-944-7308 for Rancho Cucamonga or San Bernardino. Joel Saltzman is Dr. Wireless. He has turned his considerable expertise into consumer credit risk and wireless security into a highly specialized independent web-based consulting enterprise targeting consumer credit risk analysis and wireless transactional security and monitoring. He works as a wireless analyst, veteran independent agent, and consumer liaison for most wireless telecom carriers and equipment manufacturers. For more than 20 years, corporate and private clients and media audiences have counted on his unvarnished advice while weighing the technology, performance, and cost differences between Sprint, Nextel, AT&T, Verizon, and T-Mobile. Joel specializes in setting up mobile wireless hotspots to be used for disaster preparedness, business continuity, and mobile wireless merchant processing solutions. Call Dr. Wireless at 310-400-4900 or go to his webpage at drwireless.com. Again, call 310-400-4900 or his webpage at drwireless.com. You'll be glad you did. And now, back to our show.
And I am Robert Cardoza. You're listening to Robert Cardoza live on the street at the intersection of business and politics. And it's time for our tribute to the late, great Paul Harvey and the rest of the story. Yes, sir. You know what? The American Broadcasting Company calls him the biggest voice in America. He's Paul Harvey, and each week millions of listeners, viewers, and readers awaited his unraveling of the mysteries of events and the lives of people past and present. And he was heard on over 1,400 radio stations, seen on 110 television stations, and read in over 300 newspapers. The rest of the story has for years been exploring the byways of history with revelations that are intriguing, amusing, and surprising. Well, today's story is Macy's grudge. You know what? James Macy was illegitimate, a stigma which could or would cling to him for the rest of his life. He died wealthy. He died a revered and renowned scientist. But such were the laws of 18th century England that James Macy was denied in life the rights of the most ordinary citizen, denied those rights because of his illegitimacy. So James Macy held a grudge, a lasting and bitter grudge for the lifelong deprivation of his honor. And we, that's you and me, benefited from that grudge in the most remarkable way. James Macy was born in France in 1765, the illegitimate son of a British duke. With Jim's father more or less out of the picture, the boy's devoted mother, herself a woman of wealth, returned to England with Jim and immediately set about the task of achieving her son's official acceptance. She got this far. Jim was decreed a naturalized British subject. Still, because of his illegitimacy, his rights were restricted at almost every turn. He could not enter Parliament. He could not hold public office. He could not hold a job under civil service. He could not enter the Army, nor the Navy, nor the Church. He could not receive any grants of property at the disposal of the Crown. Perhaps least fair of all, he could never hold the title of his true father, the Duke of Northumberland. Jim grew up knowing those restrictions. Maybe that accounts for his desire to excel at everything. Whatever the motivation, he did excel. Now, in 1786, Jim graduated from Pembroke College and shortly thereafter launched himself upon a scientific career. Many sophisticated experiments and published results later, Jim became a respected scientist. While his scientific colleagues no more talented than he were being knighted for their accomplishments, Jim was denied that honor through no fault of his own, but because he was born illegitimate. It is no wonder that James Macy held a grudge. He vowed never to marry, realizing that the stigma of illegitimacy would pass to his children. Yet in his lifetime, James Macy conceived another form of immortality, and the idea in itself would serve as his personal rejection of the country which had rejected him. When Jim died in 1829, he died a wealthy man with no heirs who could claim his vast fortune. In his will, he sought revenge on England by leaving all of his money to the United States of America. Jim had never even visited the United States. Yet by willing his fortune to us, he disinherited England as it had disinherited him. In his will, he specified that his money was to be used for the foundation of an establishment which would increase and diffuse knowledge among men, and which would perpetuate his true family name, denied him at birth, the name he adopted later in life. The name? Smithson. And thus, the gift he gave us, the establishment which in reality represents the torment of illegitimacy, is today our country's most magnificent storehouse of cultural and scientific accomplishment. It is called the Smithsonian Institution. And now you know the rest of the story. Wow. Can you imagine? Well, don't forget to tune in tomorrow for my show. John Matthews, Joe Hakels, and I will be here talking about conservative politics. David Garrett will be here with Garrett on the Law. And then I'm going to continue our tribute to the late, great Paul Harvey and the rest of the story. Please tell all of your friends about our show here on the RLC Broadcasting Network.
That's our show for today. Beginning today, treat everyone you meet as if they were going to be dead by midnight. Extend them all the care, kindness, and understanding that you can muster. Your life will never be the same again. So many of our dreams at first seem impossible, then they seem improbable, and then when we summon the will, they soon become inevitable. You know, the real secret of happiness is to make others believe that they're the cause of it. Robert Cardoza Live is brought to you by blogtalkradio.com every Monday through Friday from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. Pacific Time. Now, go out and make it a great day. Your host has been Robert Cardoza, the technical advisor, Matchstick Digital, and your executive producer, also Robert Cardoza.